Hi, this is Robin again. This is a review of the letter Gimel. The first review, let's go over the first two letters of the Hebrew alphabet. It's Aleph, Bet, and today's letter is Gimel. And I hope you can see it. Looks like you might be able to see it. Okay, the Gimel is camel. In fact, the word in Hebrew for camel is gamal. And it sounds very much like our word for camel, which is really proper because that's where we got the name. So the Gimel, putting it on a separate line so you can see it perhaps a little better. I think it looks a little bit more like a giraffe personally, but that's a Gimel. Being the third letter of the alphabet, it has the numerical value of 3. And 3 usually means agreement. And you think of 3 in 1 in the Godhead, you can think of it that way. I have heard that it also means covenant. That is secondhand to me. Somebody else, or several other people actually, got it in a teaching, I don't know where, and they didn't happen to mention where they got it, but they had all heard the same thing. So perhaps that is another meaning. I can't say it's wrong. Say hi to the cat. That's Catherine. Okay, so being a camel, it is everything to do with a camel. It can be something, camels can be a little bit stubborn, a little bit difficult to work with. So that could be the meaning of the Gimel. It could be obstinate. It could also be somebody who owns camels is probably a wealthy person. And a person who owns camels and is wealthy might have some benefits to give to you. So it can mean benefiting. It can also be reaching down because if you're sitting on a camel, it's a long way down to the other person. So it can be reaching down. It can also be, oh, what was the other thing? Oh, it can be lifting up as well as reaching down because you put things up on a camel, the camel kneels down, you put things on its back, and then it stands up. So it's lifting up. It can be lifting up, it can be reaching down, it can be benefiting and generosity, or it can be being obstinate and stubborn. It is anything that might have something to do with a camel. So you can figure out how those things work. And there are two ways to write a Gimel. Last week I mentioned doggish. A Gimel sometimes has a doggish in it, that dot in the middle, and it won't be pronounced differently. It makes a difference if it has a doggish or not. The Gimel will be pronounced the same whether it has one or not. It's a grammatical rule. There are times when you have to have it, and I believe at one time it might have been pronounced a little bit differently. But for our purposes now, assume it's pronounced exactly the same thing. Okay, so this won't be a very long lesson. I'm going to give you a word that starts with a Gimel. It's a Gimel and a Resh, and we have not talked about that letter yet. I'm putting the two dots under the Gimel. That makes it a series. So this says, and a Resh is an R, as far as we're concerned. So it's gut ger. That word is pronounced ger. And a Resh is supposed to represent a person's head. If you're counting heads, you're counting Reshes, it's a person or a head. So this would be a camel person. What is a camel person? If a person is riding a camel, what are they probably doing? They're probably traveling. So a ger could be a traveler. It's usually translated as stranger. A ger is a stranger. So then, those of you who have a Bible handy, I'd like you to look up Exodus chapter 2, verse 22. All twos. Exodus 2:22. And I'll grab the one on my phone and read it to you. And she bore him being Moses, and she bore him a son, and he, Moses, called his name Gershom, for he said, I have been a stranger in a strange land. So let me show you the name Gershom. It's Ger at the beginning. Lots of dots on this. So this is pronounced Gershom. And we usually read it in the Bible as Gershom or Gershom, but it's Gershom. But Ger, remember, that's the word right there. It means stranger. Shom, or as it's pronounced here, Shom. Usually in Hebrew, if it's by itself, you pronounce it Shom. Shom means there. So this means stranger there. It's really obvious. It's a straight line from he named him Gershom for he had been a stranger there to naming him Gershom, which means stranger there. And it's things like that that you miss when you don't know what the Hebrew words are. A couple more words. And double checking because I don't want to teach you wrong. Okay. And okay. Oh, okay, so this is the verb or the three-letter root. We talked about three-letter roots. That's a Gimel, you know, an Aleph, and that's a Lamed. We used Lamed last time. If you didn't see the Gimel, if you just had the Aleph and the Lamed, you know, if you can see it. Okay, if you just had the Aleph and the Lamed, what word is that? It would be, well, here it has the ah sound, but normally you'd see that as El, the name for God. So the name of God is in this word. And then you have at the beginning the Gimel. Well, it doesn't mean God is stubborn or obstinate, but it does mean that this is a benefit from God. Ga'al means to redeem. And then I'll give you the word for redeemer. It's the same letters, but the vowel markings make things different. So the word for redeemer is go'el. Go'el. Ga'al is the verb, the main verb, the three-letter root, and this is go'el. It is the person who redeems or a redeemer. And I think that's all we were going to talk about today. It was a short lesson when I did it at the fellowship, and it's a short lesson here. Shalom. Have a good evening.